So this is the first video in our series of pandas. In this video we will be looking at the first 5 functions and we are going to go for them one after one. But before I go forward, I would like to ask you to please like and subscribe the video, and also take my Fiverr gig if you have a project that you want to discuss with me one to one and want some help. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. So the first function that we are going to have is read underscore CSV. This is a very important function to read the data from a CSV file. So first let's download the CSV file. I already have the link over here, so I'm going to copy and paste that over here, and you can see that over here that the iris dataset has been downloaded. So iris is basically a very famous dataset, and the way we download it, we say df equal to pd dot read underscore csv, and then we are going to pass in the path. Okay, that's it. But before that, we need to download, or rather import pandas as pd, and we also will need numpy as np, and then we are going to hit shift and enter. After that, we are going to hit here shift and enter, and you can see the data is already given into our data df variable because the cell has run. Now the shorter way of doing is, let's say df1, and we are again going to say pd.read csv, and instead of downloading it there, what we can do is basically we can copy the link, we can have the link over here and give it directly to the pd.read csv. So if you pass like this and again hit, you will see this particular command will run and our data will be in the df1 variable. After that, what you can do is basically you can say, if you have a data of some other format, let's say df2, in that case also you can use csv, read csv. How? You can basically, let's say we have a data file that is not in csv format, that is in the tsv, that is tab separated values. So additionally you need to specify one parameter, that is sep, and we are going to give backward slash t. So slash t stands for tsv files. So we are going to shift and enter this particular cell, and you will see in some time that this will run properly. Okay, now the another function that we have is we need to have the head function. Now this, I would say, is the most widely used function in pandas. So what it does is basically it gives you the first 5 rows of the data frame. Okay, so it is taking some time to run, however it is running. Okay, now what we are going to say is, let's say our data frame is df and we are going to use the head function. So what this basically will give us is, it will give us the first 5 rows or the top 5 rows of the data frame. So what it does is it gives you, you can see is index 0, index 1 up to index 4. So this is first 5 rows of the data frame. So you can see there are four this petal width and sepal width, petal length and sepal length, and then there is a target column. So they are in total 5, 4 for the data and 1 for the target. So there is also a parameter that you can pass. You can say df.head, and here you can pass 10. So what this will do is basically it will give you the first 10 rows. So initially you saw they were giving only 5 rows. It means that by default pandas assumes 5 over here. As you can print it over here, you can see that it gives 5. So by default the value is 5. You can change this number to whatever number of rows, but the important thing is it will give you rows from the top. Now there is another function that works in reverse. What it does is it gives you rows from the bottom. So the function name is tail. So what you're going to do is you're going to have df.tail open close bracket, and then you are going to hit the shift enter key, and you can see there are 5 rows, but you can see the indices are from the last. So there are 150 rows or data points in this particular data frame, but you can see it is giving us the last 5. You can see 149, 148, 147 up to 145. So again this also has a parameter. You can say df.tail, and here I'm going to pass 8. So if you might have already guessed, this will give you the last 8 rows in the data frame. So you can see over here from 142 to 149. So there are 8. Now after this, what we're going to have is something called as toNumpy. So this function is being used. So let's say df.toNumpy, and I'm going to hit shift and enter. What this will give you a list. It will give you a list or of a numpy list. It's going to give you a numpy list or a I would say it is going to, let's print the shape over here. I think it will give you a total matrix over. Yes, you can see the entire data frame. So if I'm going to print it again, what you're going to see is it will give you the entire data in the numpy format. So until now we had it in the pandas data frame format. Now you have, see, these were the 5 initial rows. So they were 4 numbers here: sepal width, sepal length, petal length, and then the last the name of the flower. So you can see it will give you 150 all the rows and all the columns. Okay, so why do we use 2 numpy? Mostly if you are going to use it in PyTorch, or you are having your own model written in numpy and you want to train it, then you have to convert it into this format. Okay, so, but in sklearn you don't have to do that. You can directly give the pandas data frame. Now this was the 4th one, and the last one is not actually a function, it's something that I have to show you. If you have 2 or more lists and you have to convert it into a data frame. So let's say our first list is L1, and we are going to say list, and then we are going to say let's say range of 10. So if I'm going to print L1, what you will see a range of numbers from 0 to 9. You can see over here 0 to 9. And if I'm going to have another list L2, I'm going to say list and range, and from this time we are not going to have from 0 to 9, we are going to say from 10 to 20. And let me also print this one. So we are going to say L2. So you will see from 10 to 19. Okay, so this is the starting and this is the ending. Here the starting was 0, so I did not mention it. You can also mention it 0, 10. Okay, now let's say L3 is equal to, let me concatenate the 2 lists. And the way you concatenate is you say list and then you pass zip, and then what you are going to say L1, L2. Now if I'm going to print L3, you will see that both the lists are concatenated. However, this is still not in the data frame format. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say pd dot data frame. Now the capital, the F here is capital, data frame, and then I'm going to pass L3. Okay, and then I'm going to optionally also give column names. So I'm going to say columns, and then I'm going to pass a list, and I'm going to say A and comma B, and I'm going to hit shift and enter. So what you're going to see is you're going to see the 2 columns. Okay, so A and B, so the column names are A and B, and all the values are there. See, from 0 to 9 in the first column and 10 to 19 in the second column. You can see over here from 0 to 9 in the first column and 10 to 19 in the second column. These are the indices. Okay, so again you can use let's save it as, let's say, data. We are going to save it as data, and now again let's use the head command. So we will say head, data.head, and what we should get first 5 rows of the column of the data frame. So you can see the first 5 rows 0 to 4 was this. Okay, so that is the end of the video. If you have any questions, ask in the comment section, and also if you want to have a discussion with me on any of your projects or any topic on computer science, you can go to my Fiverr page and then take my Fiverr gig. It's really cheap, it's just $5. So thank you very much and bye.